Well, what a day it's turned out to be. Who would have ever thought that two arch rivals in the space of internet services provision, which is Bharti Airtel and Reliance Jio, would both end up becoming the carriers for Elon Musk backed Starlink to come to India? What does one make out of this? How is it really possible? With us, one of the senior most journalists and business voices in our country, Mr. Rajendra, joining us live. Great pleasure to have you with us, Rajendra, on squirrels.in. Let me begin first by asking you to respond to this major move. Reliance Jio and Airtel, who are otherwise rivals, both of them in a span of 24 hours, issuing two public statements that they are now going to bring Starlink into India. What does it really mean, Rajendra?
Thanks, Bhupender, for having me on the show. Now, this is not the first time that such a thing has happened. Uh, I would like to take you, say 30 seconds uh, to look into the background on this whole uh, episode of
Hmm.
these two corporates, telecom giants in India, coming together to provide this Elon Musk uh, promoted service, rural. Now, this has been the critical thing. Rural connectivity, Bhupendra, kindly understand that this has been an Achilles heel in the Indian telecom industry, same as has been in the power sector.
Hmm.
Reaching out to the rural India, connectivity, connectivity in urban India. These are the two things which the telecom services, which were opened up in 1990, have till today fail to address. I'm sure you would have faced calls not reaching, data getting delayed, and this can be very critical when it comes to if you are using it for telemedicine or if you are using it for any other critical purposes.
Hmm.
Now, this is what the two telecom service provider told us when they launched the service. Using different technologies. Upendra, kindly understand, the current license allows a telecom service provider to use any technology, landline, that is using the cables, fiber optic, Wi-Fi, which is a wireless technology, VSAT, which is a satellite-based technology, and satellite technology. Even today, BSNL offers through Inmarsat your satellite-based technology.
Hmm.
Now, kindly understand, this service is not new to India. It is being provided in a limited scale where, for example, Amarnath Yatra.
Hmm.
How do the satellite phones work? Obviously, there is a service which is being provided. BSNL has been providing this through Inmarsat for long. Now, this after opening up of this sector, the space sector, you are aware that various satellite companies came in because they knew that there will be satellite-based services which will come into play. Now, the two companies, Reliance, which had been supporting auction, and Bharti Airtel, which has been supporting administrative pricing for the spectrum, which is the critical part in providing this service, have come together very surprisingly uh, within less than 24 hours. You are right, to agree to provide the service. Why? Now, let me answer your question. Simply because the uh, probability of Elon Musk
Hmm.
directly entering the market and capturing it, and we know how aggressive he is as a businessman
Hmm.
in his approach to capturing the market. They are very well aware because he has the resources to bring down the prices and kind of do the disruption which Reliance Jio, if you remember, with Karlo Dunia Muthi Mein came up and
Yeah.
completely brought down the prices. This is
Hmm.
what Elon Musk can do, and that
How will
is
it
where.
happen? What I'm trying to understand, Rajendra, is this. Then how will it really happen? See, in simple terms, and that's what a lot of viewers are trying to make sense of. If you are a Geo subscriber, you're paying for Geo service, you are not going to be accessing Airtel fiber or Airtel internet on a Geo platform. or vice versa. All that is now changing now when it comes to Starlink.
No. So both services will be provided separately. Reliance Jio will be providing the service, but it will be using the satellites which Elon Musk will be putting it up. See, currently, if you remember, Airtel had joined with
Etislat.
uh, the service provider.
Hmm.
I'll tell you their name. I'm forgetting the name.
Hmm.
For providing the satellite services. So they were the first in India to have that kind of uh, agreement,
Hmm.
and they were waiting. And kindly, Bhupendra, let me again take you to the Parliament making the amendments to the Indian Telegraph Act, which provided you could provide satellite-based services using, the spectrum through an administrative price, which,
Hmm.
if you remember, the minister had announced in the Parliament, and that opened up the doors for them. So Reliance subscribers will be able to get these satellite services through the Reliance Jio network, and Airtel will continue to get the services through the Airtel services. Now, what happens? Kindly remember March of technology, the word used by group on telecom and IT during the time when Pramod Mahajan was the minister. And March of technology is what has happened today. Both of them have, that is Reliance Jio and Airtel, have the license to provide your all services, all kind of services. Now
Hmm.
they can also provide the satellite services. Now the critical factor will be the pricing. Now, had Elon Musk entered the market on his own, uh, then he could have done pricing because he has the financial muscle to bring down the price. He could have given free.
Hmm.
Your calling could have been free, and which is what we have been talking as telecom journalists who have been following this sector. That a
Hmm.
day will come when your calling will become free and data will be charged, and we are moving. We have moved towards those lines. The
Hmm.
calling charges have come in some packages. There is even free. So that is the bottom line. Services will be offered through Reliance Geo customers to Reliance customers, and Airtel to Airtel customers, irrespective of this
But I
agreement.
still don't get it, Rajendra. Just help me understand this because for the better part of the last decade, almost the big debate in India has been localization of data. We don't want to share our data. Meta companies like Meta, X, Uber, everyone was at different stages of litigation and perhaps still are when it comes to sharing of data. I mean, let's say crypto companies or blockchain companies today are finding themselves in a similar spot of bother. Are we now saying that Reliance Jio and Bharti Airtel are going to provide satellite based internet services to Indian consumers via American satellites, which have been put up there by Elon Musk? And therefore, what happens to that data? Where does that data get stored?
Yeah, that's a big question. Now the server, this is where the technicalities will come into play. If you look at the press release, it doesn't say anything about the data storage and how they are going to. Traditionally, it is the Indian servers which store the data which are generated by the Indian service providers, and this has been a issue even with Google services, Microsoft, and even Apple. I mean, I'm sure you are aware of these controversies which are going on. And
Hmm.
currently, the Ministry of the IT is
Hmm.
currently working on certain parameters which are asking for certain amendments where it will ask these players to have a mirror server in India, but
Hmm.
that doesn't help. Actually, if you remember the BlackBerry issue, or even the Apple issue, where we wanted to hold the we wanted the Indian government wanted to check on the details of
Hmm.
I think one of the accused, and they said that our privacy laws don't allow, because
Hmm.
they are bound by the American laws, not by the Indian laws. So
Hmm.
it will require a huge change in the, not only the technology specifications, but also on the legal aspect that currently has not happened.
Hmm. And lastly, again, from a consumer standpoint, you now will end up being a scenario where you can walk into, let's say, a Reliance Jio store, and you can opt to buy the transponder, which will give you the satellite services from Elon Musk backed Starlink, or the same way with Bharti Airtel. Is that the way the production and the consumption will happen?
Yeah, already if you look at TRA reference has recently come out with a recommendation where it has specified the spectrum plus also the equipment which will have to be provided for using this service. And currently, BSNL is offering this service through Viva Set, which is almost a digital based service where you can do without SIM, you can do voice message, SMS, WhatsApp, and all the services through that. So currently, this service was launched only last month, and it was announced in 2024, somewhere around November or around October, November. And that service is being currently under test in some parts of India. So yes, you are right. The customer would be walking to the stores. My only concern is, I mean, walk into the stores and get the handset as well as, and it will require a new handset. I mean, you can't do it with the current handset. My only concern, Bhupendra, is the pricing. And my concern is the reliability of service. As a consumer, since you raised the question of consumer, as I started my brief, I'm still to see a reliable service and a reliable voice service or a data service, and my costing is still not affordable.
Okay. All right, Rajendra. Lots of missing pieces, which I think will fall into place as we get some more clearer details of this mega deal. Either ways, it surely is one of the biggest disruptive moves that we've seen in our business landscape of telecom. But thanks so much. Thanks so much for joining us today on the Squirrel Starting.